السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد والفرقان الحميد. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Recitation and then tafsir, and then we'll go to the hadith next, inshallah. Today we are going to do the recitation from ayah number 177 to 182, inshallah. ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين وآتى المال على حبه ذوي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل والصائلين في الرقاب وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة والموفون بعهدهم إذا عاهدوا والصابرين في البأساء والضراء وحين البأس أولئك الذين صدقوا وأولئك هم المتقون يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم القصاص. That is to do with the month of Ramadan. We already done, so we are finishing the أولئك هم المتقون. This ayah is called as Ayatul Bir, the ayah which shows your good deeds, righteousness. In our religion, there are four very important basic points for us to remember. Aqaid, Mu'amalat, Ibadat, and Akhlaq. And in English we'll say the faith. This is the most important thing. Then comes the dealing and good deeds, and finally character. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created angels. So as far as the ibadah is concerned, the best ibadah is done by the angels, because there is no hindrance for 1 second fully to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some angels are standing, some are in ruku, some are doing sajda, and some are in qaida. So the best ibadah is done by angels. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. And we can just say that, okay, we want to be like angels and do all the time ibadah. That is not our purpose of creation. We have been created to do these 4 categories I explained to you, because we are part of this dunya and we have to deal with the activities of the dunya. At the same time, never to forget. Al-Bir is from bar. Bar means the land. We know Bahar and Bar. In Arabic, Bahar is this ocean, rivers, water. Compared to that, Bar is the dry land. So when you are in ocean, it can go into flooding, it can go into different phases where it could be problem of survival. But once the ship reaches the land, then they say, we have come to the safety. So Bar is sound and safe area. So Ayatul Bir, this is righteousness, the safety, and the sound way of leading our life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is giving us what is Bir itself. Because we studied few days ago about the change of the Qibla. And in that place we recited those ayah. If we can go to quickly to page number 33. And we went through this ayah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. سيقول السفهاء من الناس ما ولاهم عن قبلتهم التي كانوا عليها قل لله المشرق والمغرب. When the change of Qibla came, because people before Hijrah in Mecca, they used to pray towards Kaaba. And that was the Qibla of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And even the Mushrikeen, they treated that this is the landmark for all our ibadah. They used to do the tawaf and so on and so on. They used to put statues or so, but they used to pray towards Kaaba. So before the hijrah, people in Mecca, they were used to pray towards Kaaba. But when Rasulullah migrated to Medina, then the Qibla was selected was Baitul Maqdis. And from Medina, if somebody is standing in Medina, Mecca comes to the back. And Baitul Maqdis is in the north. So Kaaba is in the south and Baitul Maqdis is north. So they were all praying towards keeping the back towards Kaaba. And people before doing the hijrah, they used to pray. When they came and started praying, they had this feeling that such an important place, Kaaba, and we are turning our back to the Kaaba. But it lasted for 15, 16 months. Then the ayah came for Rasulullah to change the Qibla from Baitul Maqdis to Kaaba, Baitullah. When this happened, the Jews were thinking that your prophet is praying towards our Kaaba. He is following our religion. And they were satisfied. But as soon as this ayah came and they transferred, they were upset. They say it is changing the Qibla. And they started telling to the munafiqin and also people with weak heart. They were thinking, why? We haven't got a proper Qibla. One time we are praying this side, one time. But this was like a test for the people who are believers. Are they fixed to their own ideology or are they following the guidance by Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Sometimes even when we are going through the hadith and through the Qur'an, sometimes you can have that sort of feeling in your heart. Is it right? Is it right? But that's the time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing you. It doesn't matter what happens. If it is day and the Prophet says this is night, to forget about the day. You say, but what the Prophet says is right, it is night. So this was a testing point for the people to change the Qibla. And the people with the faith, they believe, they say, whatever the Prophet said, yes. But then the Jews started putting things into the heart of the Muslims, saying this and this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained this on this ayah, which we recited this. But coming back to again this ayah, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبْلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it is not only righteousness. No, there is a difference between. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not saying that turning toward the east or west is not valid. No, he's not telling. He's saying that is not the only religion. Like if I say there's water in this glass, if I say this is not water, that is one statement. But if I say this water is not the only water, there is water in every glass and the taps and the bottles. So I'm saying that this is not the only water. There is water apart from that. But if I say this is not water, that is something denying. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not saying that turning towards east and west is not righteousness. No, he said that is not the only righteousness. It is righteousness, but apart from that, the main righteousness is our dealing. Faith is one thing, but apart from faith, there are so many points. أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر. Faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the akhirah. But this is to the first and the last point of the iman, and everything comes in between. What comes between is the malaika, the kutubi, wa rusulihi. All these things come in between. First is faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and akhirah. So these are the two extreme points, and in between comes the whole of the iman itself. Man amana billahi wal yawmil akhir wal malaikati wal kitabi wal nabiyyin. These 3 points are very important for our faith, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen the malaika like Jibreel alayhi salam to send the revelation. So the beginning is from malaika. Wal kitab, the wahi itself. And after the wahi comes the prophets. So this is the sequence. Wal malaikati wal kitab, that's the wahi, wal nabiyyin. So all this is the three levels. From there our guidance is coming. Then comes وَآتَ الْمَالَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ ذَوِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ وَالسَّائِلِينَ وَفِي الرِّقَابِ. These important points are coming now. Apart from the faith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us spending our money. Where? First category is ala hubbi zawil qurba, and spending to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ala hubbi, with the love. Love means to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, number one. The second thing is you are spending something which you love. If you go into, I'll just ask you to go to page number 97. There's the fourth juz is starting. لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. Again, bir has come here. Yes? You are not going to reach the righteousness and good deed حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ, unless and until you spend from which you love. So it's giving something. One is in love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second thing is the thing you love. You love money, you love wealth, you love your things. So you are giving something which you love to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ala hubbi zawil khurba. The first one to spend is your relation. We forget about that. We say, all right, a good deed is coming. Spend the money for this cause, for the other cause, or for this and this and this. No. First is your relation. Look around. If your relations are in need of money, that is the top one to spend and help them. Zawil khurba. And in the relation comes, the top one is your parents. Then your wife and your family. Then comes your brothers and sisters. And then comes the first cousins, and then comes the second cousins. So the distance they are from you, they comes in stages. The first one is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for your own family. In some of the hadiths, the meaning is that if you feed your wife with love, a mouthful, that is counted as a charity. Then comes Zawil Qurba wal Yatama. The orphans comes next after your family. Sometimes we think that our family is well to do, whether we should spend on our family or give it to the orphans. But make sure that, of course, if you have given your family first and then there is anything left over, then think about spending to the orphans. They comes as the next one. Wal masakin, and the poor people. Wabni sabil was silin. There is a difference between silin and masakin. Silin is the one, a person who is poor, he is asking, like beggars, asking for money. They comes next. But before that comes masakin. Masakin is the one who is poor, but he is not asking. You have to find these people. They are in need, but when they come to you, you think that as if they don't need it. But if you try and find out, they are in trouble, but they are ashamed to ask for help. So it is your duty to find out if there is anybody who is in help. So help them without asking them, because don't let them to come to that situation that they are desperate to open their mouth to beg. So masakin has higher status compared to silin, who comes. You will find a lot of beggars. When we go to our countries, you will see lots of people coming and begging. But there are so many people who are in need, but they don't ask. You have to find it. One person, a friend, this is I might have said before, a friend came and asked to this person, asking that, I'm sorry, I need so much money, I'm in trouble. He started crying. And that person thought, oh, I made a mistake, he might be upset. Then he went and brought the money and gave it to him. I said, why did you cry? He said, I cried because I should have thought about helping you before you came to me. That the situation has come, that I know you so closely, I should have asked and checked whether you needed any help. You are going through troubles and tribulation. I was aware, but I didn't know that you are in such a desperate condition that you are going to ask for help. So I cried because I should have helped you before you were asking. And the travelers means, and riqab is the one who is, the olden days there used to be slaves, but there is no more slavery. But now the ayah which mentions slavery means they are tied. So people who have taken loans, they have going through difficulties and problems and tribulations, and people are demanding money for them or so on and so forth. They are in a category of slavery where they are binded by some conditions, and if you help them, ease them for the loans, you are as if you are helping a person who have become a slave because of conditions. After this comes the most important foundation of our religion, which is as-salah. Can you imagine? The salah is not mentioned earlier. These are the most important things for us to remember, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created angels, malaika, to do the salah, best salah, better than us. But for us, we have been created in this world to go through all these things. Once we fulfill that, then comes the position of salah. وَأَقَامَ الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَى الزَّكَاةَ. Now zakah is mentioned here separately, because in your wealth, in your money, is the right of these people which mentioned before. So that is important to spend on these before you have to spend for the zakah. Zakah is obligatory. You have to, in any case, pay the zakah. But before that, there is a right on your money to these people I mentioned earlier. وَالْمُوفُونَ بِأَحْدِهِمْ إِذَا عَهَدُوا. Whenever you make a covenant, when a dealing, any contract, fulfill your dealing. Now this dealing, the top one is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because we'll go through the ayah coming in future, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask, Alastu bi rabbikum? Qalu bala. All the souls were gathered before they sent into this world. Am I not your Rabb? They said, yes, we accepted you as Rabb. And once you accept Rabb, then you have to follow the orders given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded in Surah Al-Baqarah so many times with Bani Israel? Because they made covenant, they made a contract with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they promised they are going to do these things, but afterwards they forget their dealings, forget that promise, forget that contract. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned so many times in Surah Al-Baqarah of Bani Israel. But when we made a covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fulfill our covenant. Not only that, then there is a covenant and dealing with so many, with your family. If you have got a job, then there is a job contract. Fulfill the contract, you have done it. If you have taken a business dealing, there is a contract of business. So whatever you have committed, fulfill your commitment, whatever dealing you have done. And then comes وَالصَّابِرِينَ فِي الْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَحِينَ الْبَأْسِ. And they are patient. They observe the sabr. And we have dealt with sabr. Ayah number, I'm just going back to some pages, we have dealt it. Page number 35 and 36. And the last line coming. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that observe the patience, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to test you with so many things, with the fear, with the hunger, with the loss of your belongings, persons, and your earnings. وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. But if you are observing the patient in spite of all this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you the glad tidings that you are going to be given a high position. وَالصَّابِرِينَ فِي الْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَحِينَ الْبَأْسِ. They observe the patient when at times of trials and sadness and adversity, in the times of war, وَحِينَ الْبَأْسِ, and also very bad trials and tribulation. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُتَّقُونَ. And these are the people who are truthful. Sadiq comes from Sidq, and Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, before exfoliation of the prophethood, Izhar Nabuwat, he was called As-Sadiq Al-Amin. Never said anything wrong, any lies. So that is the saying that As-Sabirin, As-Sadiqeen, وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُتَّقُونَ. And these are the people who were righteous. Okay? Page 8 to 4 and 8 to 5, please. 8 to 5. Before this, I just wanted to mention one point. We have got our own selection and likeness, who we like. Our standards are different. Somebody likes a person with a fair color, somebody likes brownish color, somebody likes dark color, somebody likes a tall person, medium height, sometimes they like something short stature. Eyes, black eyes and blue eyes, hairs, different standards. They like different types of colors and height and color and so on and so forth. Everybody has got different attitudes or appreciation and likeness. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator. He has created all the humanity, human beings. Has He got any criteria who likes the best of His creation? A tall person, a white person or black person, or a type of hair like this, the color of the eyes, so on and so forth. Has He got any standards of likeness of His creation? This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. This is the starting on the first ayah of 8 to 5. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, O mankind. It's not saying, oh, the believers. No, He's saying, oh, mankind. إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى. I have created you men and women. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لَتَعْرَفُوا. And I have made you from different tribes. Yes? For what? Differences of your face and your color, your height, and so on and so forth. Only for recognition. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The most reverend of you are the one who has got taqwa. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's criteria, who is the best of His creation, is taqwa. And this ayah, Ayatul Bir, says the qualities of muttaqi. I've given you the paper. Go through that. These are the qualities of muttaqin, which is explained in this ayah, Ayatul Bir. What is their faith and what is their dealings how they spend the money. So these are 18 qualities mentioned here. Please go through that, and this is the one. You complete these qualities, you will be called muttaqin. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, أولئك الذين صدقوا وأولئك هم المتقون. Allah says that these are the ones who have got taqwa. These are the ones who have got taqwa, and He has said that I have got the criteria to say who is the one who is muttaqin, and that's the one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that my criteria of giving reverence of my creation is the one who has got taqwa. So ask Allah, Allahumma ja'alna minal muttaqin. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make us of the people who have got taqwa. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika nashhadu la ilaha illa anta. And now coming to the hadith. This is hadith number 15. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت. Narrated by Abu Hurairah رضي الله تعالى عنه, Rasul صلى الله عليه وسلم said that من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. Can you see the criteria now? Whoever believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the last day, فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرٍ أَوْ لِيَصْمُتْ. Either speak the truth or good, otherwise keep quiet. That's what he said, that the speech is silver, but silence is gold. If you want to speak, use your tongue for something good, otherwise keep quiet, because there are lots of sins of the tongue. Once you open the mouth, the tongue, use it for zikr. Zikr, the top of the zikr is Al-Qur'an Al-Karim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself says, Inna nahnu nazzalna zikra wa inna lahu lahafizun. For Al-Qur'an Al-Karim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I am the one, I have revealed this zikr, and I am taking the responsibility to preserve its authenticity. So like other books, only book is going to be safeguarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Qur'an Al-Karim. The previous books, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not take the responsibility to preserve. That's why there have been so many changes in previous books. But this is the final book, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. So the top zikr is Al-Qur'an Al-Karim. Then do the normal zikr. You say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And the rule, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala. And use your tongue for du'as. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes to be asked, and does not like if somebody is proud that I don't want to ask Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Al-Qur'an Al-Karim, if you are proud not to ask me, I am going to throw these people into the hellfire. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ أُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it's a guarantee from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You ask me, I will fulfill. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. Those who are proud enough not to ask me, I am going to throw them into hellfire. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So use your tongue for making dua. Al-Quran, zikr, dua, and good advice. If somebody asks you for advice, give him the truthful advice. Al-Mutasharu Mu'taminun. There's one hadith, he said, Rasulullah said that if somebody asks for advice, give them the best advice. Use your tongue for good speeches. The tongue can be one of the things which, one time, Abu Bakr Siddiq was holding his tongue and very sad. Umar passed him and he said, what's happening? He said, this is the flesh. Rasulullah said that lots of people are going to be thrown into the hellfire because of this. And in one of the places is the explanation I said so many times is there is a flesh in your body. The strike is even severe than if you have stricken with a metal rod, and that is your tongue. because the hurting of the tongue is worse than hitting somebody with a metal rod. Abstain from backbiting, slander, lies, hurting people, insulting somebody, complaining, or selling something which is truthful but that can hurt people. Sometimes you have to be careful. You might be telling somebody truth that a person said about this person something bad, and you come and say, oh, did you know that person was telling this about you? What you are speaking is truth. But that speaking truth is going to cause a lot of problems. So please use your tongue for good things. And help people, give them good advice. Some person who is going through lots of trials and tribulations or depression and low mood or so, you use your tongue, console them, comfort them, give them advice, support them. Use your tongue for good deeds, not for something which is harmful. Then the hadith continue. So first one is about the tongue. This hadith says, whoever has got belief in Allah and the last day, either speak the truth or something good or be quiet. Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyakram jara. So whoever has belief in Allah and the last day, respect your neighbor, help them. Neighbor's position comes very, very important, because Rasulullah said that Jibreel used to tell the rights of the neighbor so many times. I thought that the next time he's going to come, he's going to say that your neighbor has got portion in your inheritance. He was thinking that this neighbor has got so much right. Now the right of the neighbor is divided into three. One is a neighbor and a Muslim. One right. A neighbor who is Muslim and also your relation. One is neighbor, he is a Muslim, he is a relation, and he is a close relation. So neighbor who is non-Muslim, he has got a right of just a neighbor. A neighbor who is a Muslim, he has got two rights. One is just a neighbor, the second is the Muslim. And the neighbor who is related, he has got three rights. As a neighbor, as a Muslim, as a relation. So this is very, very important for us to remember. There are so many hadiths in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim about the neighbors. Especially now the summertime comes. There is one of the hadith explanation is that if you have got barbecue in your garden, send some food to your neighbor. Because if you're cooking in your kitchen, it doesn't matter. But with the barbecue, the smell of the meat being barbecued is going to be sensed by the neighbor. So if you are doing a barbecue, send some food to the neighbor. This is the explanation of one of the hadith. The second thing is that if you prepare some food, and if it is possible, add some water. And this is Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, saying that add some water to make it bigger so that you can send a gift to your neighbors. Another place is saying that and this is very, very important for us to remember, if you have a neighbor who has children, and if you have children yourself, and if your neighbor is poor and the children are poor, if you give a toy to your child, make sure that this child is not playing that toy with these toys in front of the neighbor's children, because that's going to cause hard feeling into them that we are poor, our children cannot have the toy which you have provided to your children. So these are simple things, and this is Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Explanation goes on. So remember about neighbor, they have right. If they are, it doesn't matter if they are Muslim or non-Muslim. And then one of the places it says that a person who has a neighbor who is troublemaker, bad to them, and in reply, if you have got good attitude, show good character, that person is loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves that person who has been upset by the bad attitude of a neighbor, but he has given good response to that neighbor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves that person. And the third thing is about Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir wa man kana yu'minu bil akhir wal yawmil akhir fayakramu sabqa. And the person who has got believe in Allah and the last day, respect and looks after the guest. And the right of the guest is for 3 days. This is from the hadith. If a person comes and if he or a guest, he has got the right for 3 days. So for 3 days, you have to treat very, very nicely so that there is no complaint from the guest. But after 3 days, then the right of that guest finishes. After that, that person stays, then this is what you are doing is a charity. But for 3 days, it is her or his right to be in your house and treat them very nicely. And you have to take the dua of the guest. Nowadays, it's very difficult. In olden days, there were no facilities, so people used to travel, and then you have to accommodate. People used to come to Rasulullah far and away. Then he used to ask the Sahaba, is there anybody who can provide food or shelter or help them? And the Sahaba used to offer them, and so on and so forth. But nowadays, there's not such thing. But the only thing is, our friends and relations come from abroad, staying in this area. They want to go for sightseeing and so, and they are staying there. So this is the part of the hadith. This applies to us also. So pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us guidance to follow all these points about our speech, either to speak right and truthful or keep quiet. The second thing is about neighbor. Very, very important point, which we miss so many times. We think about the neighbor, it doesn't matter, whatever he's doing. The third is our guest. So pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us guidance to follow the guidelines and rules and regulations given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika nashhadu la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.